Hello, Luke here. So today we're going to be learning about parts of the day. Now, this is not. Whoops. There we go. I don't know why it did that. So this is not like, how we can break down a day into seconds, minutes, and hours like that. It's basically like blocks of a day on how we divide a day, like morning, afternoon, etc. Because it would be really crazy if you divided a day into 24 full hours, right? I mean, it's always good to block the day. And this is what we basically do here. So we're going to be learning parts of the day. Okay, so the first one that you see here is first light. Now, this is the moment when light first appears in the sky. Now, this is usually in the morning, just before sunrise, but way before the sun comes up. And then the sky is black, and then you're just starting to see that first little hint of daylight in the east. This is when we call it first light. Okay, the next one is dawn. And dawn is the moment when the sky is partially light between first light and sunrise. So again, dawn is before the sun comes up, but it's not like first light when you're just starting to see that little first hint of daylight. With dawn, there's already quite a bit of daylight in the sky, but the sun is still not up yet. So that's when we call this time dawn. Okay, the next one is sunrise. Now, sunrise is the moment when the sun starts to rise in the sky. So, with sunrise, this is when we call when the sun is coming up, and now you can see the sun on the horizon in the east. So, I'm going to go back and. So, again, first light is when you're just starting to see that first little hint of daylight in the sky. Dawn basically means there is quite a bit of daylight in the sky, but the sun is not up yet. And then sunrise means the sun is actually coming up now. Okay, next is morning. Now, what you see picture is breakfast, which is a meal that we usually eat in the US in the morning. I don't know about other countries, though, but for us Americans, we usually eat breakfast in the morning. Now, morning I would consider probably from about 4:30 a.m., so very early in the morning, to 12 p.m. And in the morning, we can say, good morning. Now, think of some things that you might do in the morning. Maybe you wake up, eat breakfast, maybe take a shower, get ready for work or school. So that's the morning. Now, this is something that is a little different. It's still morning, but we can also divide times of day into early and late. Like, you might hear that sometimes. Now, this is early morning. Now I have a picture of a rooster. It kind of suits that. Now, I'd say early morning is from about 4:30 a.m. to about 7 a.m. So, it just means it's very early in the morning. In a sentence, I could say, I love hearing the rooster crow in the early morning. So that's basically what early morning means. Don't let it, scare you if you're like, what, early morning, what's that? That's what it basically means. Okay, the next one is you see a picture of people working in an office. And this is late morning. Now, late morning, I would say, is from about maybe 10:30 a.m. to 12 p.m. So it's a little closer to noon, which means the morning is kind of starting to wind down. Like right now, like it's about 10:30 where I live, so you could say it's late morning where I am. And the reason why I chose this picture is because usually by this time, a lot of people are at work or school and they're already working. So I think the picture kind of suits it. Okay, now this is noon. Now noon is exactly 12 p.m. So in the middle of the day, this is noon. So again, it's at exactly 12 p.m. Now what you see here is a noon, but it's a different kind of noon. This is called solar noon. You probably haven't heard this term before, and it basically means the moment when the sun is at its highest point in the sky. So, solar noon can differ compared to 12 o'clock noon because it will vary depending on where you live and what time of year it is. But basically, solar noon means when the sun is up at its highest point in the sky and then it starts to climb down. So that is basically what solar noon is. Okay, next is afternoon. Now, afternoon, I would say, is from 12 p.m. to maybe about 5:30 p.m. or so. And this is a picture of people, going on a walk, because I feel like that's what some people might do in the afternoons. And in the afternoon, we can say, good afternoon. So think of some things that you might do in the afternoon. You'll probably be at work or school, or if it's on the weekends, maybe you might go out and enjoy the sunshine. Just anything you really do in the afternoons. Okay, next we have early afternoon. Now I'd say this is from 12 p.m. to probably about 2:30 p.m. And this is a picture of a lunch right there. So, early afternoon, this is usually the time when most people usually eat lunch. That's why I put the picture there, because that's around lunchtime for most people. Maybe they might eat exactly noon or 12:30, 1 o'clock. It's just within usually this time frame is when most people would eat lunch. Okay, this is late afternoon. Now I would say late afternoon is from about 4 p.m. to about 5:30 p.m. And you all probably know what late afternoon looks like. Rush hour. As people are heading home from work and school and there's a lot of traffic on the road. That's a good picture to suit late afternoon. Because, trust me, rush hour is just crazy sometimes. Okay, now we're at sunset. Now, sunset is the moment when the sun is no longer visible in the sky. So this is basically, it's just like sunrise, but instead of the sun coming up, the sun is going down. So that's sunset. Okay, moving on, we have dusk. Now, dusk is the moment when the sky is partially dark between sunset and nightfall. And again, it's just like dawn, like the sun has set and it's not like completely dark yet. Like there's still some daylight left in the sky, but it's not completely dark yet. So that's usually when we call this time dusk. And that's usually like when all the street lights and headlights start coming on and the nightlife in the city starts to kind of take place. So this is dusk. Next, we have nightfall, which is the moment when there is no longer any light in the sky. So nightfall basically means when it is now dark. Like there's no more daylight left in the sky. It's completely black. And you can see in the picture how there's barely any daylight left. So again, sunset is when the sun actually goes down and you can't see it anymore. Dusk means the sun is down and there's still a little left daylight in the sky. And then nightfall means it's officially completely dark. There's no more light left in the sky. Okay, next we have evening. And this is a picture of dinner, which is what we usually eat in the evenings. Now, I would say this is from about 5:30 p.m. to about 10 p.m. And in the evening, we can say good evening to each other. And think of some things you might do in the evenings. Maybe you come home from work or school. You probably eat dinner and probably just relax or do homework or just anything you really do in the evening with your family. Or you spend time with your family. Yeah. Okay, next we have early evening. Now I would say this is from about maybe 5:30 p.m. to about 7 p.m. And this is a picture of someone coming home from work because, most businesses usually end at around 5 p.m. So it's probably around 5:30 by the time you probably get home. And that's the picture here. You can see how he's walking in the door, like coming home from work. Okay, next is late evening. Now this is I would say from about 8:30 p.m. to about 10 p.m. So it's around 8:30, 9 o'clock, and this guy, he's probably watching TV. Usually late evening you might just relax and kind of chill before going to bed. So this is late evening. Okay, next is night. Now night I would say is from about 10 p.m. to about 4:30 a.m. the next day. And at night the sky is completely dark. And you can tell by this picture, it kind of looks like it's probably a little after 10 o'clock or so. This is usually the time when most people go to bed and they're sleeping, usually, during this time. Now, I want to note, just like how we say good morning in the morning, good afternoon in the afternoon, and good evening in the evening, we do not, however, use good night when we greet someone. Good night is usually the saying that we say to people when we are leaving or if we're going to bed. Like when you say good night. If you say that, then people know, okay, have a nice sleep. So it's not like you would go to like a meeting at 10 o'clock and you would say, good night, how are you? That would just be kind of weird. Okay, next is midnight. Now, midnight is at 12 a.m. The new day. I could say, a lot of people stay up until midnight on New Year's Eve. So this is midnight, exactly 12 a.m. It's similar to noon. Okay, our last one we have is middle of the night. Now, I would say this is from about maybe 1 a.m. to about 4:30 a.m. So this is the time when everybody is asleep and everything is just so quiet. Like the house is quiet. It's the middle of the night. Like nothing is really going on. It's just everyone is just sound asleep. So I hope you enjoyed our lesson on parts of a day today. If you have any questions or comments, just tell me in the comments section, and I will see you guys later.